live from WBAMMYs Studios. It's Orlando, Florida's biggest night. WBAMMYs, what WBAMMYs? It's the greatest show you've ever known. WBAMMYs, what WBAMMYs? The brutal list is really long. WBAMMYs, what WBAMMYs? The Wizard of Oz is a good guy. Don't ask any questions, just sing along. The substance you can add to my smoothie. You can call me a real pain, just like my wife every night. WBAMMYs, what WBAMMYs? It's the greatest show you've ever known. WBAMMYs, what WBAMMYs? I think we have to elect a pope. WBAMMYs, what WBAMMYs? Timmy's gonna ride my giant worm. We're here. Woo! We did it.
That was better than any original song recording that ever happens at the Oscars.
Welcome.
Billy Crystal, who is all I can say. Yeah. Wow.
First take, baby.
That was good, yeah. Could you imagine if you had to do like multiple takes of that, how that would have gone?
Mm-hmm. We do want to thank Shawn Mendes for coming in to perform that really quickly.
Thank you, Jack Antonoff, for the production of that one.
Yeah, on the ones and twos.
You gonna throw a beat on that?
I was thinking about it, or like finding some royalty free.
You would have to
something that could fit.
You'd have to either quantize yourself, or it would have to be in like black MIDI tempo.
Here's the thing. I think that like actually keeping a beat is all relative.
Right,
That's
right.
not artistic.
It's the 6th Annual WBAMMY Awards. We're here. Welcome. My name's Ernest.
My name is, I couldn't find a button up in a black tie, so we're doing the Golden Globes look. It's Hunter.
And I'm Drew. Just don't look at the Tootsies. I'm wearing my Birks.
I got my pillow slides underneath this suit.
Do we have like what's the angle that we're at on this camera right now?
Tootsie
Can
cam?
they see? Can they see Toots?
It's zooming into your feet.
Okay, well, I wanted to make sure like that there's the view that people see on YouTube, and then there's the Patreon view, which is the same exact view, but it's just a little bit longer.
Just feet.
Yeah, it's just the feet.
All right. It's our 6th year doing this. It's our annual award show. It's our version of the Golden Globes, you could say. We get a little sloppy here.
Not the Oscars.
We're popping open some champagne. Oh, that was so uneventful.
Oh man, I really thought
this is what happens when you buy it at the corner store and not at Costco.
Next year, you need to just buy the knife and just slice the thing off.
Yeah, this is the only one they had. I could have gotten. It's like Andre. It's not even. It says champagne on it. Blush.
Yeah, it's a nice. It's a blush champagne.
It's a little fruity. It's a little bit on the fruity side. That's not actually champagne. That's not very. That's
like, is that a rosé that you're opening up?
Dead flat. What I'm looking at.
Yeah, that's tough. That's
not
tough.
bubbly.
Well, all right. I hope that's not a reflection of how this is going to go. We're going to have a good time here. This is how we close out the annual Listomania extravaganza. We did our top 10 albums, movies, and shows. There you go, right out of the bottle, baby.
No, okay, so it's not a good reaction. Let's take a little taste here.
Brought to you by the Cornerstone, the corner store around the corner.
This is fucking awful. Jesus.
Good thing you brought the Stellas, because
that's not good.
We would have been
really
fucked. This is the only celebratory drink.
Yeah, what would we have done? Like not drink during this award show? That doesn't sound like us.
All right, so what we're doing today, if you're new here, is we're handing out awards. We're handing out little Scoot McNairy Golden Mans. It is an Oscar. I'll superimpose it here on my hand in post-production.
Wow, that looks so good.
An Oscar with the face of Scoot McNairy, with his crotch blurred out.
Yeah, and the dick of Scoot McNairy.
Yeah, life size.
Unless you're his lawyer.
We have a whole bunch of categories, some returning, some new. And we just like to celebrate the year. It's the year 2025. We're celebrating the year 2024. And it's award season. And we have a lot of fun categories here. You don't have to drink it.
Dude, it tastes so bad. Oh my God. That is really awful. That is just really quite quite poor.
Quite poor.
I've actually never had champagne that bad in my whole life.
This isn't champagne. If it is, it's like rotten.
Says that it is.
The word champagne is on it.
This is like
That's
spoiled.
not champagne.
What happened here?
We'll have
It
to
actually
clear it.
used to just be like a clear, like a
Yeah.
nice soft yellow.
Yeah.
I think this
It
is
turned-
like sourdough starter.
It lingers.
Oof.
It lingers. Yeah.
I forgot to tell you guys, we're now sponsored by the brand Andre. They
Shout
make
out to
champagne.
Andre.
So
Andre.
We also have some Girl Scout cookies. Shout out to my wife. Thanks for getting those. For
My
us.
wife.
I kind of wanted to use a little bit of a intro side category to kind of warm us up here. It is the Lee Pace's 6'5" Lifetime Achievement Award for the discovery of the year. As we sip and as we gear up to
So
get to the first category, I wanted to use this as a time to shout out some things that didn't come out in the year 2024 that we experienced for the first time.
I could
shout
not
out.
have told you what this award was going to be for.
what?
It's named after our most successful TikTok of all time, the Lee Pace's 6'5" Super Yaki merch.
Okay, let me.
Yeah. Yeah.
From when we discovered that Lee Pace is
So
6'5".
this is not like a best new actor or anything like that. This is just about something.
No, that's Breakout. We have Breakout.
Okay.
That's a separate category.
that's a different thing. This is just for something that didn't come out this year, but was just something that we watched for the first time this year.
Yeah,
or
just-
experienced.
just to loosen up a little bit as we sip on our brewskis and not our spoiled gross Andre champagne. Unfortunately. Any big shout outs of the year that you guys just things that you like that didn't necessarily come out?
I mean, I'm
last year.
gonna have many. I'll start with a couple, and then we can get back around to me. I just because it's really fresh. Last week I saw Talented Mr. Ripley for the first time.
Hell yeah.
It was almost sort of. It was because I didn't want to watch Ripley without having watched the movie, and now I'm having a hard time watching Ripley because I fell in love with the movie.
It's so different.
Yeah.
It is, and Ripley is great in its own right. It's just like so different.
Yeah.
Like it is in like right off the bat, weird vibes. We're not having fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're hanging out with a bad dude.
It's fun, but in like a much darker
and
way.
it's gorgeous, but it's not. We're not enjoying Italy. We're just appreciating it, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We're not like an active participant in Italy. It rocks, but my God, that movie is so cool. I think largely it's just a matter of just unbelievable casting.
Damon.
We love
Jude
Damon.
Law.
Jude Law, I that was a big issue I had watching Ripley. Is I was like, how is anyone gonna radiate fucking
Dickie.
charisma?
Yeah. The Dickie is not Jude Law.
No.
My
in
God.
the show.
Pretty good, but also the show is very much not about him. You can't beat Jude Law.
One more thing I want to shout out Detroiters.
On Netflix, fresh.
On Netflix, finally watched it for the first time. This is Tim Robinson and Sam Richardson's show about two guys living in Detroit, made before I Think You Should Leave on Comedy Central. Short-lived, phenomenal show. It has a deep appreciation for Detroit without feeling like it's being preachy or it's trying to, it's like patronizing to Detroit. Like it's just portraying the city for what it is in a very sweet way, because this is a city these guys love and they're from.
Go Lions.
A great example of that is there's a whole episode about like us, a startup company comes into town and starts acting like they're like the real Detroit. And Tim and Sam are furious about this, obviously. It has top gags. Tim is better suited for a sketch show because sometimes like you're getting like a not great episode, but you're getting like 3 or 4 gags that you remember literally forever. For example, they go to a bar and the bartenders, they order a beer and the bartender's like, hot or cold? And they're like, cold. What are you talking about? And then it cuts to a guy blowing steam off of a beer.
That's so funny.
It's stupid gags. They rock. Good show.
Hunter, go ahead.
So I have a couple things. Really, whenever I hurt myself earlier on in the year, I kind of went back and just like watched a bunch of old shit and went through my fucking mountain of movies that I own that I've just never
The Blu-ray.
walked through before. The Blu-ray collection.
The plastic.
And easily the best discovery that I made this year, and it feels stupid to call it a discovery, is I got the box set for Wong Kar-wai, the Criterion Collection.
Wow.
And just fell in love with Wong Kar-wai as a filmmaker. And I know that sounds like a little bit silly to say about somebody who's like, yeah, of course, he's known as one of the greats, but it is crazy watching something like In the Mood for Love, and you just kind of feel the romance that he is able to illustrate from a visual language perspective. It's often imitated, and very rarely is it ever able to capture what he is able to do. In the Mood for Love was easily my favorite of his films. I think that movie has like this melancholy to it that is just deeply depressing, but also there's so much longing there that you just kind of can't help but feel yourself getting swept up away in it.
That's the one you gifted me, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I need to check it out.
Yeah, you should watch it. It honestly was like instantly I watched it. I was like, oh, this is like one of the 100 best movies I've ever seen in my life. Chungking Express, another just stone cold masterpiece. One that Chungking Express, I'm sad to say, the first time I ever saw it was on a plane a few years ago, and I was like, yeah, that was pretty good, because I don't think I've ever actually watched a movie on a plane and been like, masterpiece, that's it. So I'm glad that I gave it a little bit more time with something like that. But even something that a little bit of his lesser celebrated movies, like Fallen Angels, Happy Together, are just incredible, like absolutely incredible movies. Cannot recommend them enough. And then another thing that I did was I went through, and I've owned his movies for a long time, but I went through and I watched more Mel Brooks movies this year. Watched both Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein for the first time this year. Young Frankenstein watched at the Enzian on my birthday, actually.
I had that one written down.
Yeah.
Yeah, as that was legit one of the top 5 best things I saw last year.
So stupid funny that like I
holds up incredibly well.
Yeah, it's just like, it is so funny what Mel Brooks does with genre. I'm like beating a dead horse literally with Blazing Saddles, but what he does with genre and just with playing his genre, it makes his career all the more impressive, because he like satirizes every different genre and then is like, I'm done making movies. I've said everything that I need to say. Also, shout out to Gene Wilder, R.I.P., who is just iconic in something like Young Frankenstein. So,
the best movie I watched for the first time last year was Ang Lee's Brokeback Mountain.
Oh, nice. Great.
I have a list I threw on Letterboxd of my top first time watches of the year. That was at the top pretty early on, and nothing dethroned it for me. I was so blown away by Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal just going all in on this story of repression and unrequited love and tragedy. These two gay cowboys. There's been so many jokes made about this movie throughout the years.
Peter Griffin.
Yeah. And
there once were 2 cowboys all alone. Now, I didn't know what that song was about when I was a kid. I thought it was funny.
It is an astonishing movie. It is so sad. It's so gutting. And yet it really lives as a romance, despite like how sad it is. And it doesn't go overboard with the tragedy. I mean, it does have some really gutting moments, but the bulk of it, you are just hanging out with these guys, just falling in love in the Montana countryside. And, you know, they don't even know it. They don't want to admit it, but it's happening. And you're there right along with it. And the photography, it's incredible. They're like herding sheep through the mountains. It's beautiful.
It is funny. I mean, it's Ang Lee, Taiwanese, Wong Kar-wai, Hong Kong director, like this like Asian romance, romantic filmmakers. I think that there's just something, their eyes are so different from what you would see in America, especially like if you're talking about the early 2000s, like there's a couple of good romances, rom-coms from that era, but a lot of schlock. I was thinking, you know, in the Heath Ledger vein, some like 10 Things I Hate About You and stuff like that.
27 Dresses.
There you go. Yeah, like there's some good ones in there, but a lot of it is just very, very corporatized, and it's lacking romance and the romantic.
A couple I've shouted out throughout the year. Strange Days, the Catherine Bigelow movie with Ray Fiennes and Angela Bassett, just astonishing sci-fi movie made in 1995. Going full steam ahead into the 21st century, painting a really bleak vision that feels realer and realer as we, you know, get into the year 2025. A story of like black market memories and being able to like live first person view another person's life. Rosemary's Baby, Had never seen it before. The
So
Roman
good.
Polanski film. I was reading Quentin Tarantino's novelization of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and there's a section where it talks about how Sharon was on set watching a scene being filmed, and then cut to her actually watching the scene in the final film. And the way Quentin writes it and how he describes how the audience reacts to that scene, I was like, I need to watch this movie today, like right now. And so I did, and it was great. The original Nosferatu from 1922, and the original Planet of the Apes, had never seen it before. The OG, leading up to Kingdom, which may be nominated for some WBAMMYs tonight. Had never seen the OG, and man, what a fucking movie, dude. It rocks.
Yeah.
Like, it holds up so well. Also got to shout out Sideways, the Alexander Payne movie. You know, shout out to Wine. Not Merlot, apparently. Paul Giamatti's character hates Merlot. But, you know, in the wake of Holdovers, had never checked out Sideways, so I had to tap in. And Aaron Brockovich.
Aaron Brockovich is great.
This is how I dealt with my cancer diagnosis, is I watched a movie about a woman going after corporations who cause people Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is what I had. So that's what Aaron Brockovich is about. That's what she was fighting for, was little kids and young families who were poisoned by California Power.
You of course got cancer because you boofed a bunch of Zyn.
Right. No, it was
And that lawsuit is still pending.
it was because I watched Argyle.
That movie literally gave you cancer. Is Argyle up for any WBAMMYs coming up soon?
Perhaps.
Okay, good.
Perhaps
good. I
one
just
or
wanted to
two.
make sure. So what point of diagnosis were you just Googling cancer movies?
I just had always heard that Aaron Brockovich was like something to do with cancer, and then when I saw that it was Hodgkin's lymphoma, I was
You're like,
all right,
okay, that's time to dive.
I'm going in. This is how I deal with my problems.
I'll give you two more. Both 90s movies. Been just like filling in the blanks of the 90s it's such a pleasure. It's such a pleasurable time for movies.
Especially doing the Toms, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I'm not even mentioning anything that I saw for the podcast purposes, but I mentioned this on a previous pod. 1991's Point Break.
You know, I rented this movie from the library after you talking about it because I had never seen it before.
Did you watch?
Yeah, it's a fucking banger.
My God,
it's so much fun.
It's absolutely crazy how good it is. It like, you know, well publicized that it's like the direct precursor of Fast and Furious. One, I think it's better than it in every way except for a key one, which is that like the underground car world is cooler than the surfing world. And you know what I mean? It's a little more cinematic and there's more you can do with it. But other than that, this movie is so elevated in every way. Patty Jenkins directed the absolute fucking shit out of this movie. It has brutal action sequences. You know, like bordering on like Michael Mann style. Like the gun is louder than anything else in the movie. It wants you to feel.
It's Catherine Bigelow.
Catherine Bigelow.
That was so sexist of me.
Who's the same director of Strange Days?
Yeah.
The movie that I just shouted out.
So James Cameron did a hell of a job.
No, Swayze.
Ghost directing his wife's little project. No. It just Swayze is
He's so cool.
And he's legitimately out of his mind in this movie. Anything you read about the behind the scenes, he actually took up skydiving, and like the studio was willing to like pay him not to go skydiving. They were like, please don't do this.
He was like, I'm going in.
Yeah, and I think his brother was a skydiving instructor, and he was like, I'm gonna jump out of planes, and if you're not letting me do it on camera, guess what? I'm doing it off camera. I'm doing it on my own. The birth of Keanu, he's just as not good in this as he is in every other movie.
Jesus.
He's a bad actor. It's okay. Generally speaking, this movie is it just fucks so hard.
Almost a full decade before Matrix. This is early 90s. This is 91.
Very young guy. Johnny Utah, elite name.
Incredible. Yeah, all-timer movie
It's
name.
Gary Busey is fucking awesome. I don't think that it's well it's mentioned enough in modern like Gary Busey discourse that like he like got in like a bad accident and has brain damage, and that's why he's crazy. Like he was a normal guy. I think this movie is actually might be after the accident, but he's a great fucking actor.
Yeah.
Like he's really entertaining in this movie. He's not just a guy who like they like turn the camera on and they're like, let's just film this crazy dude and happen to be good. He's a good fucking actor. Everyone is delivering the goods in this movie, but mostly Bigelow is she is directing this movie like she has something to fucking prove because she did. Because sexist pigs like me will confuse her for the one other similar female director.
Were you there for Zero Dark 30? Were you there for the Hurt Locker?
Hurt Locker, yes. Zero Dark 30, no.
Apparently she has a new one coming up.
Oh God, there's an incredible joke in. Is it? I think that's an English teacher where it's just like when we rewatch Zero Dark 30, and people are like, people rewatch Zero Dark 30.
That's great.
It's a great,
just the Bin Laden raid.
One more quick one. I've already talked about it on the pod. Scream is I think
banger,
a perfect
Shout
movie.
Out to Adam.
So many years ahead of its time in terms of like being about like film fandom and like, you know, fandom culture and obsession in that way. It fucking rocks.
Wes Craven like really saw through the looking glass of like the blockbusterification and was just like, no, it's gonna get worse.
Yeah, it's so stupid. It's so funny. The whole cast fucking rocks. Jamie Kennedy, Lillard, fucking Neve Campbell. They're so cool. It's just, it's such a cool movie. Like you watch it and you're like, I should have been a teenager back then. My God, we just missed it.
Yeah.
The perfect window to be a teen was in the late 90s, early 2000s. And we just missed it.
Missed it. Speaking of like, we just missed it. And I'm almost mad at us that we didn't. 2 other movies and then 1 book. Shout out 2016's Everybody Wants Some. I don't know how we missed this.
I know.
Like as a group. Like this just is.
You know why, Hunter? Baseball.
I think maybe that's what it was. That if it was kids playing football, then like we would have been all in or something like that.
You know, we would have watched that.
But like the thing is, this movie, like
where was
it's
the
one of those
lacrosse
things
movie?
Brother, well,
those are all like court evidence.
I really think that if like we went to college 2 years after this, like this would have been in the same way that we think of like they came together or something. No. I'm talking about like if this would have come out like our freshman year of college, this would have been all that we fucking talked about was this goddamn movie because it's a first year.
Because it came out. Yeah,
it's
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Yeah.
It's so good. The cast is like incredible. Of course, like this is the Glenn Powell coming out party where when you have a guy who you've just never seen before and you're like, yeah, no, I'm just going to fucking follow that guy to the ends of the earth. Like that's when you know that you've got like a fucking movie star in there. And he's all over this movie in a great way. Zoe Deutsch, Blake Jenner, such a movie that has resonated incredibly well in my head since watching it. And I know it's going to be on the rotation wherever I'm doing like the Linklater rewatch throughs and I'm doing my School of Rocks and I'm doing my before movies and everything. Everybody Wants Some is joining the canon of those. Another one from like a master that I saw for the first time is Blowout, the Brian De Palma movie.
Travolta.
John Travolta. This is the best Travolta performance in anything.
Wow. Better than Hairspray?
Face Off?
It's up there with Face Off.
Old Dogs?
Better than Michael?
It's okay, so it's not as
Poster?
good. It's not as good as the Michael Poster or Old Dogs. Okay, I'll put it's
the smile in Old Dogs.
It's a close 3.
It's behind the Michael Poster and the last shot of Old Dogs.
So for people who don't know, this is a movie where
it's like the conversation.
The premise of the movie is that John Travolta is a sound engineer and he just like gets like some ambient sounds and whatever. And one day he's just out there just trying to like record some ambiance in a local park and he hears a car crash. And then he investigates that and it goes through this rabbit hole of it is a car crash and there's a dead politician in there and trying to figure out like was there a gunshot that caused this or was this on their own power? Banger of a movie, like stone cold masterpiece, incredible film. And then lastly, I want to shout out my favorite book that I read this year. This is a book, you know, sometimes something comes out and it's just like fully in your bag and you just kind of can't help but be biased for it. Michael Schulman, who I've always really loved his work for the New Yorker Variety, wrote a book that came out in 2023 called Oscar Wars, History of Hollywood and Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Which, if you have any history in the Academy Awards, I think that this is like absolutely a must read. I really think even if you don't care as much about the Academy Awards, if you're interested in the history of Hollywood as a entity, I think that this is like such a piece of essential reading. The way that Michael breaks down, he uses the Academy Awards and these eras to pick apart and discuss not just the Oscars themselves, but where we are in entertainment, where we are in society, like relationships to different studios, and then how we can incorporate things like race relations and things like that. And then the Me Too movement coming in. Like there's all these different warring powers in there. I've been thinking a lot lately that there's a whole section that is specifically a whole chapter that is specifically about the Shakespeare in Love versus Saving Private Ryan. And behind the scenes of that is the A20 or the
Weinstein.
The Weinstein company,
Miramax.
the Miramax versus DreamWorks. And in DreamWorks, Spielberg, who just like it's a newer studio, but they're just coming out. They are like a
Pushing.
rock concert. They are like, we are coming out. We are bringing the biggest powers together to come together and make a super studio. And then there's this little guy, this little fucking Harvey Weinstein over here that was always trying to, get stuff around the edges, have like Liz little hits here and there. But around Shakespeare in Love is when the smear campaigns came out and a lot of like real nastiness. And that's kind of where Weinstein ended up making his bread and butter. It's funny. I've been thinking about this a lot lately because I've been wondering like A24, this like young hotshot studio that like, oh man, I really love that little indie studio. They're now just like the perennial Oscar Best Picture makers. And it's like, oh, we just have the new Miramax now. Like this is it. They're not the young guns anymore. And maybe Neon has taken that mantle. Neon is like the young whippersnappers that are trying to do something here. But it's interesting. It's a incredible book about just going through the history of Hollywood. So high recommends.
All of these things we've mentioned are all getting a tiny little Lego-sized Scoot Hog.
Oh, let me give you one more, just because
it got a little bit smaller.
I wanted to mention this in my.
It got small. As we're talking about, they're getting smaller. And
yeah, they do. We only have so many resources to make these. And our guy's working overtime.
Remember when we said this was going to be a short pod?
We're going to start the show really soon. I promise. I wanted to mention this on my TV shows episode because it takes a lot for a comedy podcast.
Oh, did you find a 10th TV show to put up?
Yes, and it's a podcast. Okay, it takes a lot for a comedy podcast to really bring something that I feel is fresh. And I mean, not to oversimplify, but like to actually make you laugh. And I think the hardest that I laughed this year was listening to an episode of the podcast Exploration Live, which is it's two Brooklyn, like New York comedians, Natalie Rotter-Lateman and Charlie Bardet. Charlie he was pretty Twitter famous. It's hard to find him because like that's not the name he goes by on there, but he's had some bangers on Twitter. I would compare it to what like Las Culturistas was like before Bowen got on SNL, where it's tapping into this like New York sort of LGBTQ comedy scene that is like where all of the like freshest and funniest voices are at. And they're younger. Like Bowen and Matt Rogers are like well into their 30s and they're very successful now. And it's like their guests on Las Culturistas are like fucking like Michelle Obama or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like that's no longer
Charlie XCX on.
That's no longer a real comedy podcast in my opinion. Like this is getting people you've never heard of in your life, and you're like, how are all these people the funniest person I've ever heard? Like it doesn't make any fucking sense.
I love the cover art.
It's incredible.
They're in like a Windows XP
they have
background.
The two of them, Charlie and Natalie, have an unbelievable dynamic because he's like bookishly genius and she is, I think, one of the most unique comedic voices I've ever heard. The hardest that I laughed this year was in an episode called One Turn Slime Twins, featuring Grace Yim, who again, just another absolute random hilarious person. But the premise of the show is really loose. It's literally you come in with extremely vaguely named ideas, just like on a sticky note. And then when it gets to you talk about it, and then they explore that. Like it's really broad. And this one in particular was just her telling a story, and it because of her sensibility, entirely because of her storytelling abilities, it is the funniest thing that I heard this year, period. So I wanted to give it a shout out because it's rare that I like go back to a specific moment in a podcast and listen to it over and over.
Nice.
But good stuff. Great pod.
All right. So that's the Lee Pace's 6'5" Lifetime Achievement Award for the discoveries of the year. Let's get into the WBAMMYs. The way we do this is we have a list of categories prepared, and I will be your Conan O'Brien. I will be your MC, and I have my selections for nominees. It's as if the host picks the nominees, you know, which is, I guess, what happens at the Golden Globes and not the Oscars.
Yeah. Do you think that there's an award show where the host gets to choose?
This is the one.
Okay.
This is the one. And then, you know, if you have the categories. If you have items that I didn't select, you don't know what I selected. Mm-hmm. We're keeping the element of surprise. We're carrying that through. You can nominate things for each category. And if you both agree on something, that is the winner.
Right. If
you don't, I have to be the tiebreaker. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the 6th year doing this. We have a system. Mm-hmm. I feel like we can move through
By
this
the way,
pretty smoothly.
I don't want to, not to toot my own horn. I came up with that.
Right. You did.
And the 1 year that I watched enough things
right
to be the one giving out the nominations.
And
no longer can do that. I've retired and
but you're still here.
You've done an honorable job.
And you know what, Ernest, I just want to say something for next year. I'm not going to do it that year either.
Okay.
I just want to make that clear, like right now. Like, I don't want that to be an expectation. This is like a floating thing. I'm not going to do it.
You brought the Stellas and you brought the blazer.
Yeah,
you know?
I did.
It's not deathly hot out today. So
I'm going to be honest. This blazer's
it's pretty
a little warm. Thick. This blazer might come off at some point in the show. I was considering wearing
my Emilia Perez t-shirt that Netflix sent me today. So maybe I could go and change into that at some point.
Yeah. And then you can talk about your thoughts.
I did see the film.
Yeah.
It might be nominated.
Okay.
We'll see. All right. So I randomized the order for these categories and then tweaked it a little bit so that we have an order that we like. So the first category of the night of the 6th Annual WBAMMY Awards.
Great timing, right? As Hunter's yawning. We're beginning.
That's always like the best time.
Jesus.
In the Oscars.
Wake up.
The Denzel Washington Award for performance oozing with movie star charisma. The nominees are Glenn Powell in Hitman and Twisters.
Oh, you get both.
Zendaya in Challengers. Mikey Madison in Honora. Aaron Pierre in Rebel Ridge. Chris Hemsworth in Furiosa. Austin Butler in The Bike Riders. Josh Hartnett in Trap.
No way.
Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt as a duo in Fall Guy.
Stop.
Venom in Venom.
Okay, now we're talking.
Now we're talking.
Count Orlok in Nosferatu.
Jesus.
And Denzel Washington in Gladiator 2.
So it's just Count Orlok like as a character?
Can you pass me the...
Okay, I'm going to give you a nomination that you're going to think I'm joking and I'm totally not. I don't think he should win, but he should be mentioned. Adam Pearson in A Different Man as Oswald.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great nomination.
He comes in the most charismatic. A lot of it is in how he's written, like to be like comedically great. But my God, I love that guy.
Yeah.
He was so funny.
I mean, if you're giving me both Hitman and Twisters, it's gotta be Glenn.
It's gonna be Glenn, and I'm gonna tell you one thing. If you'd be willing to do this with me, can we make it just Twisters?
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
come on.
I actually would agree with that. Let me tell you.
Listen.
Let me tell you.
Damn.
Here's the thing, and here's why Glenn Powell
Can't
wins.
just be a win.
No, here's the thing, and here's why it's got to be Twisters and Glenn Powell. When
he is different in Twisters,
when
bro.
Glenn Powell walks out
Come
in
on.
the rain in a white t-shirt and a cowboy hat, I just started like giggling in my seat in the movie theater.
I
was like, oh my God, Glenn got me.
Giving you the fucking
you capyberry face motherfucker.
He's so good.
Yeah.
The
Riz level is at an all-time high.
The reason Hitman bothered me is because it's like sometimes he's trying to hide the fact that he has this movie star charisma. And it's like, dude, good luck. You got it.
So it's Glenn Powell just in Twisters.
Just Twisters, and it is a majority, so you have to give it to just
eliminating
Twisters.
Hitman. Hey, special shout out to Josh Hartnett and Trap. who the whole thing is just look at Josh Hartnett. He's nice to look at, isn't he?
Congratulations, Glenn Powell.
I'm gonna make a special
on the first Scoot Hog of the night.
I'm gonna make a special award for Trap called the "You Guys All Have to Be Kidding Me" award for a movie that just sucks. It's not fun. It just sucks.
The movie that is this a bit that you guys all like?
Yes. I want a special shout out. Aaron Pierre is really Rebel Ridge in general. It'll come up later in another category.
I have it down for a couple.
Fun movie. He rocks, man. My God, voice of Mufasa himself.
Oh, that's right.
Quietly,
a movie that
massive year for Aaron Pierre.
Yeah, that we've all seen.
Hey, big. He carries Rebel Ridge, and then Mufasa.
He carries Mufasa. I can imagine.
By the way,
guess.
I am keeping Hitman crossed out. It's going to stay there, but crossed out.
So it's on the dock, but it's crossed out.
Crossed out.
So when we mail Glenn Powell his golden Scoot Dog, it's going to have Hitman on there, but it's going to be crossed out.
Yep.
Can you do like a cross out and then an underline of Twisters? So it's like we want to make sure like that one's
bold,
crossed out.
italicized.
This one is the one.
All right, the next category is the best TV episode of the year. The nominees are the Fallout pilot, the first episode of Fallout. Ripley episode 5, Ashtray. If you know, you know. Mm-hmm. X-Men 97 episode 5, Remember It, the Genosha genocide. Shout out Gambit. The Bear episode 6, Napkins. And House of the Dragon episode 7, The Bastard Dragon Riders.
I'm gonna let you take this one, Hunter. I haven't seen a single one of these.
So
did I miss any big ones?
Well, I'm trying to think through. Let me go back to my TV of the year. Does the U.S. semifinal match count as a TV show? No, okay, it doesn't. No, I think I am leaning
probably Fallout, right? That was your show of the year.
See, I was leaning Ripley.
Oh, because it's a great fucking episode.
I think that like Fallout is a tremendous pilot. It does like get you to buy into the show and into the world. Another one that I would shout out, I don't know if it's worthy of winning, but the therapy episode with Sarah Paulson and Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
It's a great one.
One of my favorite episodes of TV of the year.
The penultimate of Shogun.
Actually, you know what? No, I know what I want to do. I want to do the episode 5 of Everybody's in LA.
Which one is that one?
That is the one where they keep saying that this is the one that we're submitting for Emmy consideration. That is the one that God. Let me get through. It's Pete Davidson. It is Bill Hader is on that one. It is hold on.
David Letterman. That's the David Letterman.
That's the David Letterman one.
That's your best episode of television in the year.
Have you watched Everybody's in LA? Drew, this
Not
is
that one.
This is the most you-coded show.
I know. I was having anxiety. I was having anxiety that I wouldn't like it, and so I didn't watch it.
I actually think that like that was one of like the most special episodes of TV of the year.
So sight unseen, would you be okay with sending John Mulaney?
Earthquakes is the one.
What would you say, Ernest?
I'll let you weigh in on this.
Very open on this one. I don't feel strongly about any of these. I think Close My Eyes. I really like the Fallout, the first episode of Fallout. Like, just to me, the entry into this
not like your
world.
number one show, Hunter?
Well, let me pitch you with this with Everybody's in LA. So this episode of Everybody's in LA has it includes Kevin Gage reprising his role as Wayne Grow. And he does stand up as Wayne Grow from the film.
That's awesome.
All right, let's give it to Mulaney.
All right.
Congratulations
to Mulaney.
on your Scoot Hog.
The Fallout one's great. Let's give something to Mulaney.
That's one where you look on Wikipedia from like an Oscars 10 years ago. You're like, how did that one win?
Yeah.
What?
Hit the wrong soundboard.
I was gonna say no. You gave it a womp womp. You're already negging Everybody's in LA.
Okay. The next category is the Jaleel White Award for scene stealing side character in a comedy.
The Jaleel White Kimmy Gibbler Memorial Award.
This one is a little bit thin on my end. I need you guys to do some lifting here.
Yeah, say no more.
I did not write down many. My nominees for this one are it's just one.
One.
Jason Schwartzman in Queer is all I wrote down.
You fucking idiot.
He's great. He steals every scene that he is in and he's hilarious.
Wait, no, TV is eligible for this, right?
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah. Then for me, I think it's Stephanie Cohen. for English teacher.
Okay, so I was gonna want to have a discussion because there's a few that is
I was gonna say that
is officially the winner.
Which one there's a couple that you like. If we were going to do this like Emmy style, there's a chance like 2 or 3 of the 5 nominees would all be from English.
Just the cast,
yeah,
the ensemble.
Yeah, and we went in our best of TV episode. We talked at length about the show. There's a bit of an atmosphere,
right? Some asterisks.
That's one of my favorite things that like Hollywood pundits will say about something with allegations. They'll say there's a bit of an atmosphere around the show right now, but Brian Jordan Alvarez is someone who like as a mind has been like inevitable for years and years. As a straight up just performance, had no idea her relationship with Brian or like her as a creative force. You're so drawn to her in scenes because she's so fucking funny. She's like extracts a laugh out of every single line she can. It's really a special performance. It's also a character that like I think 8 times out of 10 is not funny.
Right. It's something that would just be like it's just like the friend character or whatever, and you're like, give me back to the main guy again.
And by the way, I mean
Sean Patton, I think.
I was gonna say
right up there.
Jordan Firstman, his boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like it. Enrico Colantoni. I mean,
yeah,
he would be the other person I would have it up for, but I want to. Stephanie, I want to give her like a breakout award, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want to give it to her. Enrico, we know you're good. We've known.
I'm trying to think.
So which is it? Is it her?
It's her.
It's her. I'm trying to think through if there's any other like movies to give a shout out to.
There definitely is.
The thing is that I want to give it to one of the guys in Kneecap, but I don't really. None of them are really supporting in my mind. It's almost like 3 leads in that movie. But just as far as like 3 funny Irish brothers, that's what I'm hearing.
I think the only people that would truly compete here are like 3 different people in Honora.
That too. Yeah, like every goon, every henchman that's in there.
Yeah, exactly. Those they have a strong run at it, but like
it's funny. I like because we were talking about comedy. I was like, well, Honora's not a comedy, but that whole section of the movie is extremely funny.
Yeah, even you could even say like Mark. The Russian Timmy isn't quite a side character, so you couldn't give it to him. But yeah, I mean, Borisov is just like. No, I meant Karen Karagulian, the guy who's been in every Sean Baker movie.
Toros.
Again, is he a side character? I don't really know. He probably has the second most lines in the movie.
The thing is that like I guess they are because each of them are only in like a third of the movie.
Yeah.
So
I think he's a strong second place here.
All right. Congratulations to Sarah Koenig.
Stephanie.
Oh, Stephanie.
Koenig.
I wrote down
Koenig.
Stephanie.
Sarah Koenig is she made the podcast.
I always kept thinking.
So Stephanie Koenig.
Stephanie
Make sure
Koenig
you mail it to the right person.
An English teacher on your Scoot Hog. All right. The next category is the Jay Baruchel. This is a new category this year.
Yeah.
In honor of the Jay Baruchel Blackberry, the film Blackberry Memorial Award for Wig of the Year.
Okay. And by Wig of the Year, do we mean worst wig?
Yes.
The nominees are
okay.
Ed Harris in Love Lies Bleeding. Just go ahead and Google that just to see what he looks like.
It's insane look.
All of the Glens in Hitman. We're just going to put all those wigs into one category.
Okay. I feel like I really want to starve Hitman of winning anything. Just to be mean to you.
Tilda Swinton in Problemista. Google that one too. See what that one looks like. Timothy Chalamet in A Complete Unknown.
Hey,
there's some variations on the Bob Dylan look throughout the film.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think I'm taking this award as being wholly negative.
It's Wig of the Year.
It's just wig. Okay.
Adrian Brody's beard in The Brutalist.
Do you call that a wig? Probably.
Chris Hemsworth nose in Furiosa.
No, that's a wig.
So it's like prosthetic / wig.
It's a face wig.
Cynthia Erivo's green face.
That's actually her skin, and you're hurting her by saying that. I mean, I'm surprised that you did not put the actual wig that is in The Brutalist.
Felicity Jones.
Felicity Jones wig, which is just one of the worst wigs that I've seen in years.
We'll put that one here.
The thing is, well, I don't know. Is it positive or negative? I don't really know how to take this award.
It's just what is the wig of the year?
It is the wig of the year.
Was Jay Baruchel's wig the wig of the year? Or was it the worst wig I've ever seen?
It was the most memorable. Maybe that's the award.
Most memorable.
The most striking wig I'm seeing is easily Ed Harris.
Yes.
And here's the thing,
insane.
I kind of love it.
No,
It's so good.
It's
I
a
kind
great
of think
choice.
it fucking rocks. So let's go for that.
What do you think, Hunter?
Okay, if we're doing most, I won't be mean to the brutalist, at least this early. Let's go with Ed Harris. Love Lies. Love Lies Bleeding gets something here.
Congratulations to Ed Harris on your Scoot Hog and the
Chris
team
Hemsworth's nose.
at Love Lies Bleeding.
Infurious.
What about fucking Sebastian Stan's
You could just do
face?
Honestly, wait. Should we stop Ed Harris? Should we chase him down and say there's been a mistake?
No. That's a great win. That's a great win for the team. It might be the only thing that Love Lies Bleeding gets tonight. I'm happy for them.
Yeah, or at all.
Right. Facts. All right. The next category is a category that I didn't have a lot written down for throughout the year. And then when we were trying to come up with, our refined list of categories, I brought it back. And it's Best Needle Drop. And the nominees are Memories by Maroon 5 and Venom 3, The Last Dance.
That's gonna be so hard to beat. I haven't seen the movie, but Ernest showed me he showed me a Chinese riff of someone filming a movie screen of the end of that movie, and it was the funniest thing I've seen in my whole life.
It's cinema.
It's so fun.
Father Figure by George Michael and Baby Girl. Shout out to Harris Dickinson dancing to that song. And Come As You Are by Nirvana and Queer.
It's going to Memories. It's a landslide. It's a blowout victory. And you know what? I'm gonna go a step further. I think that I want to make a petition to rename this category the Memories Award for Needle Drop.
Everybody hurts.
The Here's to the Ones That We Got award.
that we got.
Here's to the wish you were here, but you're not.
Congratulations to the team at Venom, The Last Dance on your Scoot Hog.
Could be a big night for Venom coming up here, guys. Can't wait to see what happens.
Some other honorable mentions. What about when Jelly Roll plays in Twisters? Huh?
Hey, brother.
There's some good Twister shout outs.
Honestly, yes.
What's the big one?
There's
the
every
Ain't
single
No Down in Oklahoma.
Let me tell you, literally, Twisters, a movie that I love. See that it already won an award tonight. It has the Vanderpump Rules thing where it is just going to play a needle drop that is going to play a song with the lyrics describing the scene that you just watched or a scene that you're about to go into. And that is every single fucking Luke Combs or Jelly Roll song that plays throughout that.
Another rule for needle drop is that it can't be OST, like a song made for the movie.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Or people performing the song in the movie.
We
talked about this last year.
Because otherwise, first of all, Lady Raven's running away with it.
Oh my God.
I mean, there's so
Which
many
one?
musical.
200 Lady Raven songs that are in that fucking movie.
That's so cool.
Number two, I saw the TV Glow whole soundtrack.
Yeah.
Crazy.
What's the soundtrack of the year?
Yeah,
that's
it's
not an
close.
award, but it would get soundtrack.
I was thinking maybe now's a good time to just shout out all the great music in movies this year. We have a category for original music.
We do?
Yeah.
Oh, we do. Okay.
But there were a lot of musicals this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a big year.
Put on the t-shirt.
Emilia
Put it.
Perez. Wicked, Joker 2.
I don't want my penis anymore.
God damn it. That is actually in the film. I don't understand it. I don't get it. This is a great win for Venom, though. When
Venom, do you think Venom The Last Dance would have been enhanced if it were a musical?
Oof. No.
If Tom Hardy and Venom did a duet together, would you have been into that?
The moment this happened at the end of this film and this song came on, I ascended. I levitated off my chair and I started cheering and clapping.
And
it was
I
incredible.
just in case, I don't think we've actually talked about it, but
The Family Guy.
The actual, that actually might be the hardest I've laughed in 2024 is if you look up Memories Family Guy cover on YouTube, it's a guy who is actually doing really good impressions. No AI used here. He's unfortunately probably been put out of work.
Here's to the one.
It's the funniest video I've ever seen in my life because so what you're looking at is he's switching impressions like every line basically, and he goes through like all Family Guy and like all Simpsons characters, and you're seeing a really like close up shot of the character he's doing looking sad, and then on the side there's like a little sidebar with a bunch of question marks, and it's like an order of who's going to be next. So the whole time it's as if he wants you to be guessing.
Yeah, like, oh my god, who's he getting? Oh my god, it's Bart.
Herbert the pervert. It's so good.
Yeah, if you just look up Maroon 5 Memories Family Guy.
Yeah,
it's like
I think the guy himself may have even taken it down, but it's trust me,
it's still up.
honey, it's up.
All right, congrats Venom, the team at Venom, for your WBAMMY, your Scoot Hog. The next category is the newly renamed Westworld Award for the show we hope it doesn't tank in season 2. For the best first season of a show.
Is this named after one particular creator? Or?
That we hope doesn't tank in season 2. The nominees are Fallout, Shogun, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, X-Men 97, English Teacher, and Everybody's in LA.
So here's the rub with this award. You kind of have to have a little bit of a reason why you think it might tank.
Right.
Yes.
I think this went to Severance.
So here's
the
here's
year
the
that
thing.
season
Severance
came out.
is the easiest one ever.
And we're loving season 2 so far.
Here's
so
the thing.
it's not tanking
English
yet.
Teacher, I'm not worried about tanking. I'm worried about it not getting made. So that's different. That's different.
Yeah.
I think it's named after Westworld. I think that it's going to be Fallout because of Jonathan Nolan being at the helm of Fallout. That
Right.
Westworld, a show that we all enjoyed the first season of, and within like
It could tank.
within like 5 episodes of season 2, I was like, oh no, the show's fully gone off, or like 2 or 3 episodes. I was like, the show's fully gone off the rails. Yeah, Westworld.
Yeah.
Season 2. So. For me, it's Fallout. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I think, has a solid floor. I don't know if it will be as good. Shogun, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I believe in Shogun season 2 at all. They're out of source material.
Well, then why wouldn't you give it to that?
Because you're more hopeful. It's the award is for the one you hope doesn't tank.
Yeah, I have more emotional investment in Fallout than I do in Shogun.
The word hope is in the title of the award.
Yeah.
So, you kind of you need to be invested. You don't want to be already have
Drew,
one
what is
foot.
where are you at on this? I know you've seen a couple of these things.
I am so worried about Survivor season 48.
Can we worry about Survivor season 50 now? Can we go ahead and give it one?
All right, Fallout.
Yeah, for me it's Fallout. Do you have any pushback? Okay.
Fallout.
Please.
Congratulations on your Scoot Hog.
Keep Jonathan Nolan far away from the writers' room, maybe.
What a great first season.
Banger.
As good as
Fucking
you
banger,
can get.
man. So good.
Congratulations
IP
on your
donuts.
Scoot Hog. The next category. Oh, I love this category. It's Best A24 Movie Not Made by A24.
Okay.
The nominees are Honora, Dee Dee, The Substance, Kinds of Kindness, and Strange Darling. Very, very indie movie.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys feeling? You have any other outside nominees here? I feel like our winner might be in here.
No, so here's the thing. I almost don't want to do a neon movie because I think that's swimming in the 2 weeks.
Is neon ruining this category?
That's what I'm saying. Is like we made this category several years ago when A24 meant something different. And this almost
we gave it to Bottoms last year. That's not neon.
Let's say
no. That's what I'm saying.
The best
studio movie, like studio indie movie.
The best A24 neon movie not made by A24 or neon.
I think that it is something where it's like I feel the urge to give something to The Substance because it was released by Mubi, but this was a Universal movie that then they sold off.
They booted it.
And there's something about it that does kind of feel like something that is small, contained, like the A24, the A24 movies of old, a neon movie now. I don't want to give it to Honora or even like a Kinds of Kindness or something like that, because that's kind of swimming in the same week.
What are you feeling, Drew? Substance? You good with that?
Where do you think? Good thing for the audience is that all of these awards are vastly up for interpretation, and the definitions do change from year to year.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Dune 2.
I mean, hey, A24 just keeps aiming higher and higher, so that's
Honestly,
the problem with this.
yeah.
I like the substance here. I think that's a good I think it's a good compromise.
Congratulations to the team at the Substance on your Scoot Hog.
What about A Real Pain? That's a good one.
that is a good one.
Shit, that is a really good one.
Oh,
wait. Oh my God. Hey, can
Turn
you
around.
chase Coraline back here? Get her back here.
Are we undoing? A Real Pain is really that's
actually a great one.
that might actually
Shit.
be perfect.
You know what?
No.
Yeah, I think we gotta give it. Jesse, get your ass up here.
Unengrave it.
Can you, Ernie?
There's
Can
been
you
a mistake.
undo? Can you undo the soundboard?
Congratulations, Jesse Eisenberg. A Real Pain. Sorry, the Substance.
Sorry. I think that the Substance might win something else tonight. It's okay.
On your Scoot Hog. All right, the next category is Best Realm. Love this
Nice.
category.
Great one.
Great category. The nominees are The Black and White Harkonnen World in Dune Part 2,
Gonna be tough to beat.
The Bathroom in The Substance,
That is a realm.
Bullet Farm in Furiosa, War-Torn Washington, D.C. in Civil War,
Yeah. Oh, tough to beat that one. You know what I'm saying?
and the Lady Raven Midday Concert in Philadelphia in Trap. Also, all of Megalopolis.
Oh, this is stacked.
Oh shit!
Absolutely stacked.
A
category.
fucking killer category this year. So I don't know if I'm gonna pick this, but can I talk out Lady Raven? That
is a realm.
as a realm.
So there's something deeply upsetting about it.
Number two, that has never once existed in like the human.
It's not our
world that
world.
we live in right
It's
now.
not our fucking world.
You never go to see like, oh sweet, Taylor Swift is playing a 2 p.m. show at the Civic Center where she's gonna take 4 intermissions with no stage or costume changes.
Yeah, it's like being like, oh yeah, Tate McRae is gonna play noon to like 6:30.
No, apparently it's a double header that she has 2 concerts,
Yeah.
but then she just leaves for the second. She doesn't going
Right.
to the second show.
She does have to like figure out a murder.
She forgot that she had a second show to play that night. She's like, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about shit.
She's taking up a residency at a sporting arena. Man, that's a good one.
You don't want to give it to it? I feel like you want
I
to give
kind
it
of
to
want to give it to it.
Megalopolis, the city of the future.
I have to think about realms where, like, not only are they the most realized realm, but it's a realm that I would want to live in. I think I would want to live at a Lady Raven concert where
Oh yeah.
it's a trap.
Think about how fast you could get around in the Megalopolis world, where you could get on a moving walkway that moves as fast as
And
you
it's
walk.
clear.
No, but does it move? Are we sure that like it moves? I think it's like a moving walkway
No, that's
where
what
it's
I'm
just
saying.
like it's
it
moving
moves
so
as fast as
slow.
you can walk. So if you walked on it, you'd practically be jogging. I mean,
You're not standing.
you're the speed of light.
Jeez. Shout out to Ink Blot Fireworks in the Harkonnen planet, Dune Part 2.
That's like actually the best one.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't think it's gonna win.
God, it's crazy. It's like Denis getting shut out for best director. It feels bad, but I just don't know.
So
Who are you booting?
So
here?
you're picking between Trap and Megalopolis.
Can I throw out one other nominee? And this also isn't going to win, but it's the realm that exists in the Pink Opaque world. In I saw
that
a
is a
TV
really
globe.
I almost
one.
brought that up.
That is, I think, like that is when you're talking about like a realm that is unique that we haven't actually seen something look quite like that before. That at least deserves a mention.
Yeah. Also, I'd like to nominate the town in Hot Frosty.
Oh
Which
God.
is-
That's also a realm.
Christ.
Yeah, which
That
is,
exists.
Of course. Yeah, I mean it's located within a snow globe, of course.
A couple that I just forgot to write down are Lego
Lego Pharrell's
Lego
mind.
Pharrell.
Like just his mind.
Yeah.
Lego Space
Also,
You didn't mention Oz, which is kind of funny to me. Like probably the most famous realm of the year. If we're talking about like a realm,
we got it. That has to be in.
it has to at least get a nomination.
I'd also, it's not really, they don't mention it a lot, but A Real Pain takes place in a fictional world called Poland.
Jesus Christ.
That could be interpreted really badly. I want to take that back.
Yeah, I thought
What
that,
about what about
I thought Hitler like took care of that place already.
What about Oklahoma? That's got to be a realm.
Oklahoma's
right?
not a real place.
Tornado torn.
World, Twisters takes place in a world where like hundreds of people are following tornado influencers around.
What about the Vatican?
I want to nominate Challengers, which is a world in which like people give a shit about tennis on like a national stage.
Yeah.
I think I want to give it to Trap.
Yeah, that's quite a.
Should we give it to Lee? Drew, do you push back against it?
I can't.
Congratulations, M. Night
Trap.
Shyamalan and the team at Trap.
We have a
On your
counter.
Scoot
We have a
Hog.
counter behind us that says Trap 1, Hitman 0.
Congratulations on your Scoot Hog. Wow. This is Trap's first win of the night.
Could be a big one coming up.
First of many.
The wave is coming. The Trap wave.
All right. Next category is a thin one. Could be a quick one. It's Best Theatrical Experience. The nominees are Interstellar 10th Anniversary Screening and Megalopolis.
Megalopolis was great.
Shout out to the homies.
You didn't do like Dune or something that was like a good
Literally
theatrical
Dune.
experience.
Gotta put Dune in here.
Dune in a theater is like religious.
Yeah.
Right. And
I think Furiosa is also like up for best like I think that movie has kind of lost the juice rewatching it at home because it doesn't have the theatrical experience. Man, Megalopolis though almost reminded me of like seeing Cats a couple years ago, where it's just like, man, it's just want to like go with the boys, get a couple like apps and drinks and go see
bring it back.
Megalopolis.
Some rep screenings for
Hit the
Megalopolis.
Benjamin and see some Megalopolis.
Yeah.
I also would nominate The Substance because I think
absolutely.
that's a cool thing to put in front of a theater of like, people with mixed backgrounds.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it elicits like a similar reaction from everyone despite being so jarring and
it's
decisive.
just like blasting your senses.
It's a great theater experience.
I had a great time. I had a
is
great
that
time
the
seeing
pick?
The Substance because it was just like a day screening and there was just like one other guy sitting in the same row to me. And at like two different points, we like looked at each other and like nodded our heads like, hell yeah, brother, we're fucking in this shit. And that was a great time.
Also,
Was it during like the extended twerking sequences?
Yeah. We grabbed each other's ass a little bit. We kept moving closer and closer.
I got to throw in a complete unknown in here too. Like just seeing this thing.
Wow.
The sound of this thing just so enveloping.
So
Bob Dylan never sounded this good.
What about Twisters and 40X?
Okay,
Because that was a whole thing, you
Twist-
gotta throw Twisters and 40X.
is great.
You turn on the water if Glenn Powell comes into your screening.
If we're not overthinking it, I do want to give it to Dune because I think every single component of that movie, like blown up and as loud as possible, holds up in a way that's like really rare. You know what I mean? Like the more you're able to like immerse yourself, the better that movie gets. Like it's made for being in a theater.
Are you down with that, Hunter? Dune?
Yeah, I'm down for Dune Part 2.
All right.
I saw it in IMAX. I saw it in Dolby.
Congratulations, Denny, and the team at Dune Part 2 on your Scoot Hog.
Megalopolis iced out.
Yikes. They were really hoping for this one.
Yeah, this
Francis might never win a WBAMMY. I hate this.
Can we make we'll give him like the honorary like Jack award for just making the movie Jack. It's not good or bad. It's just you made Jack and therefore you get an award.
Yeah,
for
I was gonna say we can't really name like a category after Jack because I don't want to think about what that might be. But
The next category is
Cosby award for Jack.
for best fart in a treehouse. Best farting out the treehouse with the boys. All right.
Should we run into a reason to use that? We will.
Yeah.
We'll save
You
it.
listening, A24?
Put it in
Yeah.
our back pocket.
All right. The next award is the Michael Mann Award for Outstanding Achievement in Dad Cinema.
There are quietly some good nominees.
Yes, I think that this is a good.
This is one of my favorite
really
categories.
I'm gonna need your help a little bit. This
Okay.
I didn't put down a lot for this one. My nominees are Conclave,
Yes.
A Complete Unknown,
Dads
And-
love popes.
Deadpool, and Wolverine.
So here's the thing: I don't like those dads.
They exist.
I know that they exist.
and they went to the theater.
Hey, not my dad. Okay. Oh, I don't know what he's doing these days, but
He's probably watching it on Disney
I
Plus.
think Conclave and A Complete Unknown are two of the big ones. You got to mention Twisters.
Okay.
Twisters is a
the
must.
dads are out for
Is
Twister.
huge.
Like huge for the dads. I really think The Apprentice is a big dad movie. For like both like the neo-lib dads and also
The right-wing dads.
right-wing dads.
They might want to tap into The Apprentice.
Hitman's a dad movie.
Okay.
That's absolutely, because it's, they see Glenn, they're like, oh, I think I know that guy.
They probably read the article that it's based on.
I think Bike Riders is a dad movie. Like Bike Riders fits up in there as one.
Juror number 2.
Juror number 2.
Oh my God, of
Juror number 2 is
course.
a granddad movie. Actually. So take your grandpa out. He hasn't been out of the house in the last
Michael
18
Mann
months.
is in his 80s, so
Yeah, so
it
get him out
applies.
there, like get him get the walker out.
what are we feeling? I mean, I know in my heart what I would do
hold
for
on.
this.
Wait,
So-
no. There's the biggest one. We can't. I think that this is the winner. It's Horizon and American Saga Part 1. That's it.
The Yellowstone dad.
Yeah, no, that's literally only dads went to the theater to see that movie. Like it's
I don't think anyone went to the theater.
Well, hey, I went to the theater to see that movie.
Yep.
And I was the youngest person by 35 years.
Are you good with this, Drew?
Yeah, it's a runaway.
Damn.
It's a runaway.
Wait, what was your pick? What were you going to make the argument?
Congratulations, Horizon and Kevin,
He was
on
gonna,
your Scoot Hog.
He was going to say, I saw the TV glow. A Complete Unknown, by the way.
Yep, that's
Total. That's a
dude,
nominee.
Let me tell you, my parents went to see A Complete Unknown in the theater. I cannot tell you the last time they went to a theater. I think it was Oppenheimer.
Now, if
So your parents are cool, though, is the
Right.
thing. Do not cool parents care about Bob Dylan as much?
I'm just saying.
Now,
anecdotally.
Now, there is a Bruce Springsteen movie, and that is a heavy favorite for dad movie of the year.
That's this year, right?
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah.
another nominee, The Order.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, and then another one, Carry On.
Oh my God, yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it because it was a Netflix
Like,
movie.
yeah,
but
that's what I'm saying is
Netflix kind of makes a lot of dad cinema.
yeah, they
so
do.
it's,
I mean, they're shitting out fucking Wahlberg movies.
The next category is I tweaked it a little bit from last year. Last year it was best cameo. This year it's most egregious cameo. We didn't have good cameos this year, okay? We had egregious cameos. So the category had to be tweaked. The nominees are John Cena in The Bear,
I feel like you made this for him.
Channing Tatum in Deadpool and Wolverine,
Oh.
AI Ian Holm in Alien Romulus,
no.
and Anya Taylor-Joy in Dune Part 2. Most egregious cameo.
Well, egregious is a negative connotation. So I'm taking out Anya Taylor-Joy. Like that's fine. She did nothing. Like she's not to blame for that. Man, between AI Ian Holmes, Channing Tatum and Deadpool and Wolverine, and John Cena and The Bear, that is
It's tough.
a killer's row of just bad cameos.
One more nominee that I don't think should win, but for me, it was a little egregious, is Phoebe Bridgers, and I Saw the TV Glow. That felt a little bit like Jane being like, hey guys, look how fucking cool I am.
I'm cool. I know.
I got
Phoebe.
cool friends.
Exactly. But shouldn't win.
It'll go in the nominee.
I feel the award was made for Cena. Tell me if I'm wrong. Like I feel like that's what you crafted this for.
It's a really tough hang for a whole episode. It's so grating.
It is really grating, but
It's more of a guest star than a cameo. But
I don't know. Yeah, I almost am leaning. I'm not giving it to AI Ian Holmes because we're not giving awards to not real people on this show. I almost am leaning Channing Tatum and Gambit because it's something that like fucking fanboys for years are like, please give us Gambit. And then they're like, oh my God, we got Gambit. we got Channing Tatum Gambit. I remember when he was rumored.
Yeah,
And-
I remember the Deadline articles.
That
Do you want to give Deadpool any WBAMs
God, not
tonight?
really. Not really. All right, let's go with John Cena and the Bear. Let's go.
All right.
Let's do it. All right.
Congratulations, John Cena and the
I would
team
only-
at the
I
Bear.
would make it clear. We're giving it like you get like an upside down Scoot for the bad ones.
It's like a bronze.
You have to hold it upside down in your house.
Yeah. All right, next
And
category.
the dong does come down and fall on his face.
Next category is a big one. It's the Limitless Award for the one that wasn't great but stole your heart, aka Best Bad Movie.
Yes. This is a really important delineation that I've come to appreciate the last couple of years. Good bad movies versus bad good movies.
Yeah.
It matters.
Limitless.
Matters a lot.
Last year, this went to Wonka.
Uh-huh.
The nominees are The Beekeeper, Fall Guy, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and A Quiet Place Day One.
One, Fall Guy is not a bad movie.
Okay.
That I don't think that
Okay.
belongs here.
Well, it's a good bad movie.
Where's Trap? A good bad movie.
All right,
Trap is the worst bad movie of the year.
And we already talked about how well realized of a realm that it
Trap
has.
is not. No, Trap. I will not give Trap anything.
Trap needs to be a
remotely
multi-WBAMMY winner.
No. Best bad movie. My choice for this. I think Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is low-key a good one. I think that's a smart nominee because it should be completely unsalvageable and like truly not enjoyable. For some people, it probably was.
I know you guys want to give this to Hitman.
I don't.
No, if anything, I'm more feeling something like Carry On. As like if we're gonna give it to like more of the Netflix
That's
slot
like-
vein.
that's
but
like-
I don't know if it's like a bad movie.
Should we
I
throw
think-
Hitman
no,
in
it
as a
definitely-
nominee?
Like in terms of concept and like
It's a
what
good
they're trying to
stupid
do
movie.
that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, this might be mean, but I actually might give it to Rebel Ridge because I think that is classically a dumb movie. It's just executed so well that it becomes a great movie. But in terms of premise, you know what I mean? Like if you were to just tell me about it, and like the sort of budget they're dealing with and the casting, Anna Sophia Robb in a lead role, I'd be like, okay.
James Cromwell.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay, so like it stinks. Like obviously,
Don Johnson.
yeah, it should stink, and it's just really, really well made.
Yeah.
And so it becomes good, even though it's dumb.
What are you feeling, Hunter?
I never saw Rebel Ridge, so I can't speak for that.
You gotta trust me. It's
Ernie, where are you? Well,
the only thing is
It's The Beekeeper.
Jesus Christ. It's
man, I was gonna say Carry On. So we're kind of split here on this. I have not seen The Beekeeper or Rebel Ridge to weigh in on these. I will let you guys duke these out.
The Beekeeper is good, or
It's bad, but it's good.
So that's the thing is like
No.
you have to find for me
It's
it's
the
finding,
best bad
it's
movie.
finding the biggest discrepancy between like what your objective rating is of a movie and what your subjective rating is.
okay. So then I guess you're probably right, even though I didn't see The Beekeeper.
So
because-
for me, Trap.
No,
The thing about
no,
Trap
no.
is
So you're probably right about The
I mean,
Beekeeper. then,
Apes
because
is probably the one, but that's kind of a boring pick.
No.
Kind of a boring
I don't
movie.
really like Apes. Apes didn't really do that
Well,
much for me.
here's the
but
thing,
It's,
it's-
Beekeeper's just
we
bad.
might just be talking about two different awards here, and we might need to split it because the one that stole your heart might not be the best bad movie.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think Rebel Ridge is the best bad movie, but it's not because it's like stealing your heart. It's because it's just like really well done.
executed.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like I'm not being irrational. in liking
Wonka
it.
stole my heart.
yeah.
You know?
Did The Beekeeper steal your heart?
So let's split up.
A little bit
Let's split it up. How about that? I think this should go to Rebel Ridge
for
because
best bad movie.
because Rebel Ridge feels like it would be like a fucking like throwaway like Wahlberg-y Netflix movie. You know what I mean? But then you watch it and you're like, this is just well done. And it still has elements of true stupidity, even though it's made by Jeremy Saulnier, who's like an awesome filmmaker. There are a couple lines in it where you're like, okay, dude, it's right on the line of, is this great and is this awful? There's one where like, Anna Sophia Robb is like, I just got a feeling things are going to get really dark tonight. And Aaron Pierre goes, ain't that what nights do?
not wrong.
It's like, damn, your pen is so dangerous.
So best bad movie, Rebel Ridge, and then wasn't great but stole your heart, The Beekeeper.
I think
that where we're going?
I think that's fair.
That's fine. That's fine. I would have voted for Carry On, but I have not seen The Beekeeper. I'll let you give. I know you really want to give an award to The Beekeeper.
This is the one. This is the chance.
Statham, a first-time WBAMmy winner right now. So
Congratulations.
you get the Legacy Award. Congratulations.
Rebel Ridge and The Beekeeper.
I do need to top myself off real quick.
On your WBAMMYs. The next category, it pairs well with the Limitless Award. It's the Straggler Award for the best movie furthest from the top 10, aka worst good movie. The nominees are My Old Ass, Twisters, Conclave, The Bike Riders, Late Night with the Devil, Love Lies Bleeding, and Presumed Innocent.
So,
which is not a movie.
That's not a movie. What?
And I did cross out True Detective Night Country.
What the hell?
Because that's also not a movie.
So I think this
and that was also in the top 10.
In order to capture the spirit of this award and for it to be in tandem with the last award, I think this needs to be a movie that's technically in all aspects good, but just isn't like hitting enough to, you know what I mean? You're like, oh yeah, that movie was great. And then you look at your final list and you're like, it's my number 20. I don't know what to tell you.
I have a perfect pick.
So none of
my
you,
heart.
So none of you, I'll start by saying you guys did not, both said Conclave is really great and did not have it in your top 10.
Right.
Yes, that's my pick.
But there's one that's actually a little bit more close to my heart for this award, which is The Bike Riders.
I mean, biting it down.
Yeah, biting it down. A great movie that is even further from the top 10 than Conclave for me.
Should we call it a great movie? I don't know if it reaches that high.
Well, let's just look back. What is the worst good movie? Is it Bike Riders or Conclave?
Well, I mean, if I'm looking at my list right now, Wicked is actually the movie that I enjoyed the most that is furthest from my top 10.
Let's throw that one in here. Because that is a good movie.
That is a very well-made movie, but it wasn't sniffing my top 10. No offense to Wicked. It's almost like a thing with this, because I remember this went to the Northman a few years ago, where it's like, it's finding the right balance of like, the best movie, but also the movie that is the furthest away.
I think this, the best way to look at this is like ball don't lie, like list don't lie. Like you're like, I know I like that movie, but you look at your list and you're like, the list doesn't lie.
And that's almost where I like lean Conclave, because I'm just like, man, Conclave, like banger script, incredible cast, great score. It's my number 20 right now. And I know that that's not the furthest away, but that is like the best movie.
Last year, we gave this to David Fincher's The Killer.
That's a really good winner.
Yeah.
That's a great, that's a great one.
So what are we feeling? We feeling Conclave?
I feel like
Popes?
I feel like that makes a lot of sense.
All right.
It's not making anyone's top 10.
Here's the thing.
And yet everyone liked it.
And it's
the perfect
really
winner.
Good movie. Really good.
Yeah.
Shout out to Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow, Ray Fiennes, and a vape-hitting Tedesco in Conclave.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Cool as shit. Definitely has really good opinions on things. He would really love Trump 2.0.
Maybe Scoot should be the next pope. Use your Scoot hog to influence your next pope election. Conclave Hive, rise up. Congratulations.